Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7. Now today, as promised, I'm going to be going over my expedition teams. Now this video here is specifically for the Fire Expedition. Now, as of recording this video, there have been a few changes that still haven't been implemented into expeditions yet. One thing is that right now you can still only have a max of 6 people, but soon, I believe maybe next week or so, we're going to be able to have 8 people per expedition, which actually really helps. Right now, each player has to hit on average around 300k in order for you to clear the expedition with maybe 5 or 6 people. But right now I'm going to go ahead and go over my team for this run. Now for the Fire Expedition, this is my team here. I have Rose, F.Kluri, Tamarinne, and Luna. I'll be showing you guys all my stats at the end of the video, but I thought, you know what, the best way to show you guys how this works is to just go in and do a run. So I'll be explaining how this team works as this plays in the background here. So the first things first, we have F.Kluri, who is going to be the main defense breaker and a CR pusher for the silence phase. F.Kluri can solo your team out of the silence phase, and her defense breaks leave no room for RNG, right? I used to use Luluka, but Luluka really wasn't that reliable with her defense breaks. Her S3 only has an 85% chance, and her S1s only have, I believe, a 50% chance. Rose is my frontline tank. You can use any frontline tank you want here. It doesn't really matter. Rose is here mostly for the CR push to help me cycle for damage and cycle Tamarinne's skills. And she also gives my team a attack buff, right? So that helps quite a bit for Luna's damage, especially when Tamarinne, as you can see, is ramping up her S3 here. Now Tamarinne is going to be my healer for this fight. Tamarinne has not only a CR push, but she allows dual attacks with Luna. She also allows attack buffs, right? And so she helps your team cycle quite a bit. And Luna is going to be the sole DPS for this. Now you could bring more than one DPS, probably someone in place of F.Kluri. I see people using things like Terror guards and stuff, right? For the CR push, he's also a really good damage dealer as well. He has the dual attack capabilities and all that. Now Luna here is on pretty much a full damage build. She is around 160 speed. It helps her actually cycle. I tried running with like a 0 speed Luna, right? Essentially just no speed substats anywhere, but I didn't really like that, and I had her on, like, you know, I've tried destruction sets, I've tried attack sets, but she's currently on a speed set. She's using some spare gear, and it works really well. Now as you can see here, F.Kluri, the only way she's gonna miss her defense break is if you get 15%ed. Now so the Rose and the F.Kluri here are both on PvE builds, or not PvP builds. So they're not designed specifically for these expeditions. However, Tamarinne and Luna, because I don't really use them anywhere else, thought I might as well re-gear them just for these purposes. Now I used Tamarinne and Luna in the Dark Expedition as well. Tried to make sure there's as much overlap between my units in these expeditions, just so, you know, there's less gear requirements, like I don't have to spread too much gear around, just to gear units for PvE. And it's working out quite well. So yeah, my Tamarinne is not really tanky at all. She does, however, have over 100 resistance and about 85% effectiveness. That's so that she can strip for the Dark Expeditions, and also she can resist the resets on those cannons, but more on that when we get to the Dark Expeditions. But for right now, this team hits for usually around, like on the lowest end, if you get 15% on F.Kluri like every time, you're probably hitting around like 600k. And when you're hitting the top end, which is, you know, on average I'll hit around 800k. If you're hitting the top end of things, I've reached 1.1 mil damage with just this team on auto. As you can see, Luna proccing her skills there, very nice. Now the artifacts, I didn't talk about the artifacts much. F.Kluri's on Adamant Shield, doesn't really matter because that's just her PvP artifact. The Rose is on Steadfast Gatekeeper for no real reason at all. It's just a spare artifact that I put on her. I might switch it to Aureus since I did pull another Aureus the other day, so I might switch that over. but it's okay for a little bit of cycling whenever the boss is in AoE. Doesn't really impact the run too much though. And Luna is on Ubirus' Tooth. Now, the best in slot, I believe, is the artifact that lets you have more damage on your basic attack. I forgot what it is, but it's a 3-star artifact. I have it, it's just not plus 30, so there's no reason for me to run it as of right now. I need more artifact charms, and I'd need to invest into that, but as of right now, it's not really necessary for me. Daydream Joker and stuff like that don't work on these bosses, so don't equip that. I've seen some people run things like Victorious Flag and stuff like that from the guild shop. Those also work. Right? Anything that allows you to proc, just don't use Daydream Joker because it does not affect these bosses. But as you can see, the boss is hitting into their Berserk mode, and Tamarinne with Magaraha's Tome actually helps you quite a bit. As you can see, normally she gives herself 50% CR, but she's cut through. Even though the boss is enraged, she's able to get that extra dual attack in, sneaking in just a bit more damage, right? And as you can see, we hit over 1 mil damage here, so that is pretty nice. And there you guys go. This is the Fire Expedition. This is the team that I use now. Do you have to hit over 1 mil each time? No. If you hit around 300k again, you are perfectly fine. The reason why I do this is because it lets you compensate for players on your friends list or in your guild who are not able to hit as high. Maybe they're hitting 100k, 200k points. This allows you to compensate for those players. Now let's see if I can go ahead and show you guys my units here. Right, so we have our Tamarinne. Let's go in order here, right? So we have our Tamarinne right here, and this is her build. Okay, so as you can see, not the most tankiest stats, pretty decent defense, low HP. She doesn't necessarily need it. She cycles enough that she heals. 200 something speed. She doesn't really care about her speed here, as long as it's decent like this. She has some res, she has some effectiveness, and she works. Luna right here, the main DPS, you want to try to hit around 4k attack and as much crit damage as possible, closest to 300. You only need about 70% crit chance on her because of her passive, and I like to hit around 160 speed. She does need a little bit of bulk for the Dark Expedition because she does not have a non-attack skill, so you are going to be taking some electricity hits, but more on that on the Dark Expedition video. Next up we have Rose, which is our main tank. Again, you can use Crow, you can use Crozet, you can use whatever tank you want here, but for me it's just nice to have a little extra attack buff to keep up the consistent damage. Again, this is a PvP build. Your Rose doesn't need to be this fast or anything like that. She just needs to have some bulk. Alright, and the last unit here is going to be our F.Kluri, and again, this is her PvP build, not specifically made for this expedition. She works, she just needs over 100 effectiveness, right, to be able to land her defense breaks on the boss, and that's pretty much it. So, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully this little guide has helped you, right, kind of see what my team does. A lot of units are interchangeable. If you need help with expeditions and things like that, feel free to join the Discord community. Link to it will be in the description down below. We have a bunch of people with various different teams, and hopefully you can get some ideas from them as well. So, with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.